Welcome back, everybody. It's that time again for another Three Blind Mice build off. And it is October, so we are doing the Paint It Pink challenge for breast cancer awareness. So I decided to take this garage sale find 66 Nova. Very cool looking casting, and see what I could do with it. I had a couple of different ideas, and I decided to go with a pretty, um, I guess you would just call it a stock looking vehicle with just some minor detail on it. I was going to go crazy and create some decals with, the pink ribbons and things like that. And I figured, that might be kind of like a common theme. So I figured I would just strip it down a little bit, make it look like a little street sleeper. Um, Obviously, painting it pink, and just do some minor detail work on it. And that's pretty much what I did. So here's the basic start. Uh, Getting our base and our body separated, and basically disassembling the vehicle. Hope everybody is well out there and enjoying the videos that everybody puts up. I can't wait to see. Again, I always look forward to seeing everybody's creations and what they do. So everything was pretty much intact on this car. The windshield was in decent shape, a few scuffs and scrapes. I absolutely despise chrome bases, um, so that's going to be fixed. And I did a little extra work on the interior. Wanted to get like a two-tone-ish um, separation, so the body would be one color pink and the interior would be a different color pink. And I accomplished that by using some Testors Aztec paints. I will show those. Those are coming up somewhere along the line in the video. So here's just the rest of the prep work, getting getting the burrs off of the posts after you drill them out, and then going through getting a tap in there and getting it ready for screws. And if you've been watching any of our channels, you know the drill. I mean, this is pretty much what we all do to get these cars prepped and ready for final assembly. So there's a tap process, and then we get a couple of screws out of our box and make sure we've tapped them correctly and everything is secure. And that's pretty much it. Ready to go. Screws come out, go into our little case, and then we move on. Paint stripper for an overnight soak. And then we move on to the base. Now, I used to use Easy Off Oven Cleaner, but it's pretty noxious. If you've used it to remove the chrome from these bases or help soften the chrome up, um, pretty bad news. So that spray away foam glass cleaner was suggested to me, so I'm trying it. So I just put it in a little container, sprayed it, let it sit for about an hour, and then a soft brass brush to scrub away the chrome. Um, it does work. It does require a little more effort. Maybe a longer soak would have done it, but the fumes are much less noxious. It doesn't make you sick. Um, so a little extra elbow grease, and the reason for this is painting over that chrome when it's in shoddy shape like that kind of doesn't work well. Sometimes the chrome peels up underneath. If you've painted a base, if you just painted over the chrome. So this was the alternative, and it seemed to work. So here's our body out of paint stripper, going to get cleaned up, get the rest of the paint boogers that are caught underneath, and ultimately some body work. There were a couple of lines on this car that needed to be filed down. It just seemed like there were some breaks in the back, just between the rear post of the window and the trunk lid. The couple of high spots from the casting, and I go through that next and grab some files, and you'll see these little ridges that are on the back. See that little line right there? Really annoyed me. And there was another one, but not as dominant on the right side of the car too. So out come the files and some sandpaper, and I basically went over the entire car. I didn't just do that. I did some of the. There was some flashing inside the windows and towards the bottom. So this process, long and arduous, but this is one of the things that I try and focus on. All in the prep work. If you're going to paint it, make that body look as good as you can. You know, if you have to step away and take a break, it's fine to do that too. Um, yeah, I don't think there's been a model that I've done so far or a casting that I've done so far where I haven't had to resort to taking a file to it or some sandpaper or on some of the the plastic model kits, even just getting an X-Acto knife and just shaving away some of that flashing that's there. So that's it. A little sandpaper, a little fingernail grease, because you're not really using your elbows to do this job. It's pretty minute work. And I got rid of those casting lines and got it smoothed away. And here is our windshield, and I again continue to use my fret erasers. If you've seen any of my other videos where you've seen me do this process, this is these two little erasers are used to polish frets on guitars and basses and any fretted instrument really. So they come in various grids from like 2,000 to 12,000. So they're not very abrasive, and they do a nice job on removing light scratches. So you can see there the scratches are pretty much gone. And then we're ready to dunk them in the Pledge Revive It or Future Shine, whichever you prefer to call it. I go either way, doesn't really matter. I think it was found out through some research that Pledge Future Shine is now under the label of Pledge Revive It. So one and the same product, as far as I can tell. They seem to react the same way. So when I went through my Pledge Future Shine bottle, the last of it, I purchased Revive It, and this is what I'm using now. So there's the pink interior. I went with a very, very light pink, like even lighter than a bubblegum pink. And that was just the Testors Aztec white and red, a mixture of opaque white, what you're seeing here, and red. And for the body, I chose to do opaque white, some pearl silver, and some pearl red, hopefully with the intent to make a pearl-ish look. But I think the white kind of overtook everything, and I didn't quite get the result. I got the color I wanted, which is more of a bubblegum pink, but I didn't get the finish that I was really looking for. Still like the car, but I didn't get the exact color or shine that I wanted. So here I'm going to, I kind of busted out the clips that hold in the wheels. So I don't think I'm ever going to use crazy glue to glue the shafts in again. I'm going to continue to now use the Gorilla Glue resin. Feel more confident with it. I think it adheres better to the plastic bottoms and even the metal bottoms or bases. and that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I'm mixing up here. Just enough of this to put a couple of globs in the center to hold the wheels down on this little chariot. So it's even parts, or as even as you can get. And if you want it to harden a little faster, add a little more hardener. It does set up fairly quickly. And this is nothing more than grabbing your base, having your wheels set, taking a little glob, and getting it right in the center where those little fingers used to be that I actually broke in my haste. And I actually like using because it's pretty forgiving stuff. It doesn't, if you had to maneuver it or you made a mistake, you can get it off um, and then reset if you needed to reset. Whereas crazy glue, once you set it and if you use any of the activator, then you're tearing it out of the car if you made a mistake. So this gives you probably about 10 minutes to get the axles in. If you want to make an adjustment after you apply uh, the resin, you can still move it before it sets. If you're impatient, then go the crazy glue and activator route. If you don't mind waiting, I try and plan this stuff out. Like this was the last thing I did during this process for the day, and I set the resin and just left it overnight. So otherwise, usually in about an hour. Um, Maybe you want to use a hair dryer to help or a blow dryer just to help it set a little faster if you're in a hurry. I just think it adheres better, gives a better bond. And overall, I think even if you put a little pressure on it, if you gave it to a child to play with, it probably wouldn't break off. I'm just not happy with crazy glue. I don't think it really bonds that well and takes the pressure over time. So that's what I did here. And I don't know. I'm trying to get this in the center of the frame. I'm just playing games here right now. And my camera was going crazy too with some focus issues, so you'll see it jumping there. I don't know what's going on. So I might have to take a look at that again. So enjoy this little blip of whatever you want to call it. You only got a few more seconds left. It's okay. If anybody has any issues with their camera like this, let me know how you fixed it. Happened to be the camera's a Canon 7D Mark II. And here is final assembly in my bubblegum pinkish body. I actually spared you the details on. I actually cut it out because I was having so much trouble with the little. You'll see it on the side of the car. There's a strip down the side of the car, molding strip, and I first went with silver or chrome. I used the model Molotow chrome pen. I didn't like the chrome. I managed to get most of it off of the car without messing up the paint. And then I went with a black strip because I had this black murdered out look on the bumpers and the grill. So that chrome looks pretty stupid if you're going to leave everything else black, which I did. And here I'm showing the bonding power of that resin for the wheels. So anyway, the body, I got rid of the chrome strip and I went with a sill plate, the underneath portion in black. And much to my dismay, after I finished doing those little detail works with the black and then the tail lights, I let it dry and then I went to apply the American Automotive Imperial Urethane Clear that I rave about, always. And it seemed to pick up some of the black paint and it kind of, I don't want to say that it bled, but it ran, it didn't run, it kind of splotched. some of the places it lifted a little bit. And I could have went through the whole process of stripping it and repainting it, but it wasn't going to happen. I could live with the couple of little areas where it seemed to like lift a little bit. Almost kind of like when you use watercolor and you dab it on a piece of paper and you watch it spread. Well, that's kind of what took place in a couple of spots on that, those side moldings. Not the end of the world. It wasn't earth shattering. Again, I could live with it, so I left it. Um, you may see it on the passenger side of the car. It's just below the front, just behind the front wheel well, and a little bit under the door, the trim of the door. Sorry, you'll see it, and another spot on the driver's side that escapes me at the moment, but you'll see it in the final reveal. But there it is, very bubblegum pinkish 66 Box Nova. Overall, still happy with it. I like the way the wheels, the real riders kind of set it off a little bit and lowered it. And I kind of like that murdered out look. So that's where I ended up. And the final reveal is coming up here now. And there she is, 66 Nova for our 3 Blind Mice challenge for breast cancer awareness and painting it pink. And she is definitely pink. You can see that as a little sleeper car pulling up next to it and probably blowing your doors off. And here's my little issue again with focus, but I only did it once or twice here. And you're going to see me drop the camera a little lower too. I didn't bother to stop what I was filming, lower the camera. I just kind of lowered the camera here. So don't mind the shake and the sudden shift in angle. But that's it, guys. I always enjoy doing these challenges. I may not be able to make next month's 3 Blind Mice challenge. I forgot what it is. It's a Chevrolet something or other. So I may not make it for that one, but I certainly enjoyed this one. I cannot wait to see everybody's work on this Paint It Pink challenge. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, and I hope you enjoy everything. Everybody stay well, and I'll see you soon.